Hello and good evening. My name is Naiditsch. I'm a chess grandmaster, and tonight, together with international master Georgi Sibashvili, we are going to do a lot of different things around chess. So we're gonna check the World Cup, the second classical game. We're gonna do some defense. We're gonna do some attacking games, and as well, we're gonna solve some puzzles. So quite a big program. Georgi, how are you doing today evening?
Hello, everyone. Feeling great and excited to see what mix we are going to have it. And I expect people to be tuning in, and the chat should be active indeed.
Okay, so let's see if we have some active chat. Let's start, Georgi, maybe with the World Cup, because yeah, that's a big event currently running. There is as well this female team competition. I think Team World Cup female. I don't know how to call it correctly, but the games, of course, has much lower quality than the male. The male are playing, yeah, way better. So let's go through the games. We have the first classical game of both pairings. We are in the half final, so it was a draw. Both games not very exciting actually. So now the second game first. We have the Uzbek pairing, Sindarov is with the white pieces and Yakuboyev is with the black pieces. So we have four knights. Not the most ambitious opening, especially with the move knight takes d4 and e5. What do you say about that, Georgi? Trying to force a draw with the white pieces. Would you do that?
I think it's a crime to
Why do you think it
chess.
is a crime?
I mean, I always felt like, okay, if your main intention is to make a draw, if you know that you are moving on to fast time controls where you have a big advantage or something kind of long term, I understand it. Or if by making this draw that you have some kind of medal or something specific guaranteed, I get that as well. But otherwise, I feel like it's really a crime to chess, and it's a generational crime. Like when you have these white pieces and you have the opportunity, you really need to strike because your opponents will not let you equalize it normally when you play with the black pieces. So it's kind of weird to go for it, unless his plan is to move to fast time controls, which probably he is a leader there.
I think he's a big favorite in fast time control because I have never seen Yakuboyev doing well in fast time controls, but as well I have never seen Yakuboyev doing so well in general. So very very hard to say. Not the last World Cup we had Abbasov who managed to surprise everybody with quite strange talk after the World Cup. So people been complaining about Abbasov, but anyhow he managed to qualify for the candidates. And I think with Yakuboyev we have a story which might be very close to the Abbasov story because his games are unbelievably good. He never makes mistakes, and it's a bit strange because how not to make a mistake, like ever, like
Just
literally,
curious,
literally
did he
zero
ever
mistakes.
lose a game even?
No, no, I think he has for the moment zero losses, but it's not even about that. It's about the level of play. So, for example, the complaint from the last World Cup about Abbasov was that I think he had almost zero winning games against two 650 players, like literally zero. And during the World Cup, he was crushing these 27 guys in a way that he just crushes. Can you imagine? He won a game against Caruana in just 20 moves.
Okay, well, unless it was a opening
No,
prep,
no,
very
no.
specific
No, no, no,
one.
no, no. No, nothing to do with the opening. He just crushed Caruana in 20 moves. So this
No,
feels
that is weird.
this
He
was weird.
also just crossed 2700 as
Yes,
well.
no, but the same with Yakuboyev because actually, okay, he's not a bad player, but he's definitely not a player of the top. For example, Sindarov is obviously much better player, much better. and here we have Sindarov just trying to force a draw with the white pieces. Yeah.
What was the journey actually for Jakubo? I'm thinking about, and I'm checking the stats right now. First one, he beat, probably you'll pronounce it better, Nicholas from Germany,
Huschenbeth. Yeah,
Huschenbeth,
yeah.
okay. Then he beat Nguyen, Tai one from Czech Republic, but I believe he was originally from Vietnam, if
Yeah,
I'm not
probably.
mistaken. This
Probably.
person, yes,
When you
okay.
have the name
Then he
and
beat
when-
Pranav, yes, Pranav, Sarkisian, Donchenko, back to back.
No, but it's not
And-
about beating somebody. I think it's much more the way you beat somebody. So it's not about that you cannot win a game against Donchenko or Sargsyan. Of course you can, but the way you win. So if, for example, you're winning extremely convincingly every round you play, and your name is, let's say, not from the top 10 chess players of the world, this is a bit strange. Because obviously you don't have the level, yes, of stability, of something else to win all these matches that easy. So this is a bit strange. But okay, doesn't matter. We have Sindarov trying to force a draw with the white pieces, and bishop c5, short castle, c6, pretty normal, d6. Okay, bishop d3, h6, bishop e3. I don't know. What do you think about this kind of... What is going on here? King f8. Okay, feels safe still, but a little bit strange action, yeah, in such a calm opening.
I just believe they kind of wanted to make a draw.
No, but of
Doesn't
course,
look like there was any fight.
No, of course there is not, but a bit strange action just here because, okay, there are many moves, of course, holding just a draw here, yeah. You can just short castle, for example. There is no need in playing move like c6, there is no need to play moves like d6 because, okay, you allow some action, yeah, like we see now with the move bishop e3, for example. So you have to see the move g6, because in case you take, this is just losing in my opinion, no, Georgi? We can take on a
Just
7.
curious, actually, yes, that looks good. I'm just curious if c6 and d6 are the accurate moves.
No, but short castle, usually nobody plays this with white, because
Yeah,
way to play this with white, just short castle and that's it, yeah, because after short castle there is no game. There is
just thinking if
no
there
game.
is a problem after short castle, because I can't
Georgi, there is no
figure
problem.
out, like, what was the threat.
No, but there is no problem with the short castle, Georgi. It's just...
Then why would you play c6, d6, though?
Yes, it's super weird. But again, it's not a bad move, and also you cannot say that this is something like ultra strange, but it's strange, yeah, because for a human, why to play c6, why not to do short castle, yeah?
And then h6, g6.
Yes, very strange games, but a lot of strange games. But okay, doesn't matter, it's not our problem, Georgi, so we should not think too much about it. So we have this endgame, which is obviously completely draw, and yeah, both players just fix the draw, and that's it. Okay, straight draw out of opening, very boring. Let's go with the next game. So we have Yesipenko and VE. Yesterday, VE at some moment started to play by far not the best moves and almost got in trouble a little bit with the white pieces. So today VE is black and Yesipenko is white. I think VE should be a clear favorite, no? Georgi, what do you think?
Yes, I do believe so.
Yes,
and quite with a quite good margin.
And VE is very, very good in rapid and in blitz. As we saw, his rapid chess is so good of VE. He played the match against Iragasi. First game was white, completely winning position for VE, but he missed the win. He made a draw. But then second game, outplaying Iragasi with the black pieces in an endgame. So VE is in a great shape. Absolutely great shape for VE. Yes, he is sometimes making some mistakes, sometimes even a blunder, which is normal. Imagine how tired you must be. Already 7 matches behind you, but playing very, very good chess. But as well, Yesipenko is a very tough guy. So we have the Russian defense, or Petrov as it is called. And Petrov with the move knight c3. All is theory. A lot of Chinese players are playing the Petrov, one of the safest openings in chess. Very hard to break. And then we have the system with bishop e6, queen d7. It might be very, very little better for white. So bishop e2, quite unusual way of playing this position for white. Georgi, have you ever seen bishop e2?
No.
This is also like new to me, bishop e2. Usually we see moves, or we wait, for example, with some move like a3 or king b1, and the idea is to go knight to g5, obviously next, and take the bishop. Bishop e2 is a strange move order. I don't know, maybe it's a great move order, but I don't know this move. So we have the long castle, knight g5, so all is normal. Take, f6, bishop e3. So these are typical positions where white is...
This one thing I want to mention in here,
Yes.
Kari, actually exactly in that position, a long castle, queen d7. I remember the other day I was even preparing my student on this variation, and king b1 is one of the main way instead of bishop e2.
Yes.
And right after long castle, the key idea is just to go with this knight d4.
Yeah, but
And the main intention is, if takes it, to take it back with the queen that these 2 pawns are hanging. Obviously, not much, but I think it might have given him slightly more than it actually happened in the game.
Georgi, this is so well analyzed position. This position is so well analyzed for the last 10 years because we had a lot of great players, for example, playing this opening with black. This is, for example, Caruana. We had Kramnik, playing all the time, the Russian. We had Liko and so on and so on. So this position is super well analyzed, and white has tried all possible move orders. So we have your move order, king b1. If I'm not mistaken, after king b1, a6 is the best for black. So we're getting back, more or less. So again, all these small nuances, all the small things, they're so hard to understand. But I think in general, we get more or less this sort of positions where white has a bishop pair, but black is just doing so solid. So tough to win, but of course it's nice to play with white. So for example, I think Yesipenko was quite happy to get this position with zero risk. Maybe little chances to win it, but you have basically like a free roll, You don't risk, you play with a bishop pair. In case you do well, you might get some chances to win the game. In case it's just a draw, it is a draw, So quite, I think, nice. So we have the move h5 played by VE after long thinking. h5 is a strange decision. Usually black is not trying to play the move h5. So I'm a little bit surprised about the move h5. It is strange to put the pawn on h5. I don't know. H5 move is tricky move because now you have to defend the pawn on h5 all the time. So
he was planning to go with all the way like h4, h3, and then
think so, because it doesn't help you.
with the...
Just imagine, let's say I do some random move, so actually random move happened, b3, completely normal, to get the kingdom b2, so white is gonna advance slowly. To play h4, I don't think it's a great move, because two ways to act after the move h4. First, I can go like h3, so you never have the move g5, because you're gonna be under f4 all the time. Usually, you try to secure the position of the knight on e5, in case you can. So the move h4 is, again, can be okay, but maybe not the best, because now this pawn is gonna be a target potential. I don't know. So move h5 is looking a bit strange to me, because this is not a normal way to play this position with black pieces. I don't know if h5 is good. I think it is a risky decision to play h5. So
Probably, yes.
I don't know. For example, it's strange. I have never seen black playing h5, let's say, on a high level in this kind of structures, because it feels not so good to have the pawn on h5. h4 is not really what you want to do, so why do you play the move h5? Usually...
It will become a weakness for sure.
Eventually, usually you try to be just solid here. So first of all, there are several ideas here, obviously, for black. Most easy idea, just get the rook to e8 and try to play something like knight e5 in a good moment, or knight e7 in a good moment, or bishop g4 in a good moment. So again, we try just to be solid. Let's change pair of rooks and let's hold the other things. So this is more what happens. And here we have the move h5, so not 100% sure. So hello to the chat. Good evening.
Hello, everyone.
Good evening. So today, we already said in the beginning of the stream, we're gonna do a lot of different things. We just start with the World Cup, and then we're gonna progress to solve some puzzles together, to have some defense games, to have some attacking games, so little random topics. Okay, so h5, b3, queen f7, bishop b5. Why do I have bishop b5 on the board? This, I don't know. What is the idea of bishop b5? Maybe it's something very good, but why to play the move bishop b5? I don't know.
I'm just thinking, actually. He
Little
wanted to
strange.
kind of avoid some bishop g4, but not really, because he has this f3 idea to go, just in case.
Yes, bishop g4 is not the
Forcing.
Hard to
Or
say.
I
Very
think
hard
he's
to say.
kind of shuffling the pieces at this point,
Maybe, but
just like that.
okay, so
Not sure.
of course not a big change. White is doing a little better. So here we have the move h4, and of course h3 been played. So this is what I've been talking about. h4 might become a problem because you can never go g5. There is f4 and very unpleasant. So you have to be very, very careful now with black. h4 pawn might be problematic. So I have the move bishop e6, f3, quite safe play, g5, very risky play by VE. I mean, VE is not playing great the game. This is already a very dangerous position. These pawns, they might be so bad in an endgame, yeah? Imagine
Yes.
we have sort of endgame and then I play f4, it might be just winning move, yeah? Because you're gonna lose probably the h4 pawn in the long run. So very, very risky play for black. And here we have bishop f2. I don't know why bishop f2, because personally I would like to prepare something like f4 in the future. I don't need to do it instantly, but why not to try to get the f4 done?
I have a couple of questions, really, actually. Probably, obviously, missing out some concrete continuations, but my main question is, why did black go for it? Did anyone force this to happen, let's say, by putting the pawn all the way to h4, then going with this g5 ideas and everything? It just only causes problems.
I think he wanted to try something new eventually, but it was a bad idea. Or maybe he's just too tired. Just imagine, you're already almost 1 month in India, so after the 1 month in India, and many players complained about the hotel. It seems to be very, very bad hotel, bad food, etc. So you just might be very tired, very exhausted, and sometimes when you're very tired, you can just take a bad decision, yeah? So maybe this is what happened. Okay, anyhow, so it's not easy for both of the players, and rook c1. Wow. Just waiting.
That is a bit.
Yeah. Okay, so both players playing very safe. Bishop g1 probably was the idea. Bishop h2 to change the rooks. Yes, we change everything. Now it's interesting to change queens or not to change the queens. Hard to tell, yeah?
Well, I personally probably would do it if black is willing to trade it off. Because I think chances of getting better, I'm not sure. Probably it still might be a draw with quite precise play, because black just puts everything on the dark squares. But on the other hand, it might become a weakness. But I personally would be changing it.
Okay.
How about your guy?
Maybe, I don't know. It's so difficult to say because it looks like in both cases just better for white, no? If you keep the queens off the board, why it should be not better? Because slowly, at some moment, I'm gonna play b4, b5. Just I need to wait for the right moment. So this is by far not a draw. White can play this position like eternally. And we have Yesipenko. Okay, now the bishop to e3, so he is moving the pieces a little bit. Queen d4, and now they repeat. I think Yesipenko is just completely out of energy. And this is the problem. So he says, okay, let me make a draw. I'm just exhausted. I think this might be the problem of Yesipenko, because I think in normal circumstances he would have pushed here. let's say it would be the first round of World Cup, I am 100% he would push here very hard for a win.
Yes, because it was quite strange decision. But okay, what do you think about the fast time controls? Who will be the favorite?
In my
on
opinion,
that?
V. In my opinion, V. But
Way still,
it's
yes.
difficult to say how much energy left in both of the players. I think this is a key question. So the energy level will matter very, very much. Yeah. Yeah. So I think as well it's gonna be a very exciting tiebreak tomorrow. So interesting to follow. Let's see how it ends. It's a huge tiebreak. Both of them are. Isipenko is very young, so he might recover till tomorrow. VE is, I think, how old is VE? 30 something, 32, 33, maybe younger, no? Maybe something like that. Okay, no, not sure. So
I'm not sure exactly.
Yesipenko is for sure much younger. So let's see. VE more experience, better player. Yesipenko younger, more energy as well. Very good player. So it's gonna be a great tiebreak tomorrow. And between the two Uzbek players, I mean, under normal circumstances, I think Sindarov chances to win the tiebreak is maybe, I don't know, 90 to 10. But
yes, he's significantly better on that, no doubt.
Also in Rapid and Blitz, it's not like a small difference, it's a huge difference, just huge. So this is the expectation, but Yakoboyev is playing obviously much better than his normal play, so we don't know why, but of course if somebody plays like I don't know, 150 points elo more stronger than the usual play, I don't know, difficult to predict anything. All right, so that's it from the World Cup games. Actually quite boring games, not so much action. So let's go where we have more action. Let's go to our prepared studies. Just a second, let me open it. And we're gonna start with some attacking games. Yes, we're gonna start with a very beautiful attacking game. The board is visible, I think so. Yeah, the board is visible, and we're gonna change flipboard. Georgi, do you know this game? Aronian against Anand, and Anand won the game. It's one of the, I think, one of the greatest games in the chess history. It's gonna be spectacular. So let's go.
Just one detail, Arkady. Yes. Sorry to interrupt. Just send me the invitation of that, please, so I can tune in.
You are.
I am on another one.
No.
I believe
here. I
on another study.
No, you are here invited. I see you. You need to log in. Go to study attacking games.
All right. Hey, I can't make it work.
Because I see you here. Okay, I can invite you again. Just a second, please.
Yes, do it, please. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, just a technical thing. Send me another time, please. I'm in
already a member. It's
combinations.
No, go attacking games. My study attacking games, so I can see you. So you should be able.
Here I am. Sorry. Yes, okay. That's it.
Okay, so the opening part for us is not that important, so we're gonna skip here a little bit the commentaries because it's one of the popular lines and it is not so important for us. A3, this line back then been extremely popular, rook c8 and knight g5. So here the action begins. Just for you to know that after the move b4, do you know what is the best move for black? Maybe some of our viewers want to guess. It's a beautiful move and also a nice thing to remember that black can equalize here. Very beautiful move, c5. c5 is equalizing in the current position. I mean, what a move, no, Georgi? To play c5, yes, just to give the
actually, funny thing is that probably it was the inspiration of Anand's game. That one that I have seen it a couple of times in my own games with black, but in fast time controls, for some reason, they're going for it.
Okay.
Exactly this setups. I've had it a couple of times, and I was generally impressed.
This is basically a forced draw, so we take, we sacrifice a piece with the black pieces, but the things are on the white king. very, very dangerous. So there's f4 probably is one of the best moves, and now knight d5 just leads to a forced draw. We have this pressure on the c file, and we're winning the piece back on c3. White is going to win the pawn on b5, so this is a draw. Quite nice, yeah, that after b4 we have this beautiful c5 idea. Please remember the idea c5 for those who see it for the first time. Beautiful idea, just to know. Okay, so we have the move knight to g5 played by Ronian. The knight wants to take the pawn on h7, and as well there's the idea of playing knight e4. And here comes the first very important move of the game. Quite a difficult move to make. I think many players would play here just automatically something like h6, no, Georgi? Pawn is under attack, let me play the move h6 and then let me see what happens next.
Exactly. Just the main thing usually whenever I see these positions is that whenever people are going for this knight g5, I know that they're not planning to checkmate me, even though Aronian had a bit different thinking process in mind. Mostly I'm worried about when the knight is jumping on e4 and it doesn't let me push the c5 ideas there. So whenever I see this kind of situations, I'm more or less cautious about the knight on g5. And then, you know, I have always have it in my mind why usually in such situations there is no bishop h2 and knight g4. I would be considering it as probably it was like a blunder for white, just, you know, 1 second and something mistake. But if Aronian does it relatively fast, I kind of believe that maybe I need to slow down a bit.
Actually, Georgi, we have a lot of positions like that in the Nimzo, and actually it never works to take. So
yes,
in case you are not sure, better don't take, because there's like probability at least of 90% that this is not working. So the idea is that you have this knight g4 and now we're gonna take the knight, but usually after king g3, yes, we take the knight, but we're gonna lose the knight on g4. So usually this ends very, very badly for black. Probably knight
here is
e4
the question, Arkady.
just wins, no?
How would you explain that to our amateur players to not take bishop h2 and knight g4 ideas in this situation?
No, but just some things in life, they just don't work. So we have to feel sometimes a little bit, Georgi, some things. I think it's like, I don't know, you are driving to the airport, yes, and you know some road is sometimes just full of traffic. You don't know why exactly, but yes, it is the way it is, yeah. And the same as with this ideas. Yes, we should double check the idea bishop h2 because it might win the game, but we should keep in mind that most of the times it's gonna lose the game. So
that's true.
It's like they make the promotion better don't try it at home, yeah. And it's exactly what we have with bishop h2. Don't try it in a tournament game because most
it's too dangerous. Made by professionals.
Yes.
That's the disclaimer pops up there.
Yes. Don't try it during a tournament game. So after knight to g5, we have a very beautiful c5. Boom. So c5, actually a difficult move to make. I think it's not so easy to give up on the h7 pawn. It is not very usual that we give up on a pawn and then we still pretend to be doing very, very well. To give up on b5 pawn, yes, we don't care. b5, who cares? But to give up on the h7 pawn, this is a different case. So here, of course, we have to be very, very careful with black. The next move of white, knight takes h7, makes sense. And here we go. So many options for black. Maybe the chat could be a bit more active. What would you play here with black? Because we have so many options. Maybe you can suggest something in the chat and we will be happy to answer your questions.
And while others are thinking about it, Arkady,
yes,
I have a question to you.
Yes.
Who do you think was the closest to become world champion, but they never became world champions in the history of chess?
Okay, everybody says it's Korchnoi, but I'm not 100% sure if this is correct, actually. To my feeling, let's say from the recent players, it is definitely Caruana. If there would be no Magnus, Caruana would be world champion a long time.
Fair point there. I've seen a video recently where this question was asked to many top players. Korchnoi won, Caruana was there. A couple of answers were about Aronian as well. What do you think about that?
I think no,
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 not
no,
really.
no,
Yes,
no. No, but
I see.
time to time he had, of course, very great run that he became for very short period of time number two, number three in the world. But he is a generation of players that, let's say, what should be the time frame for him to become world champion during the time of Kramnik and Anand? Don't think so. During the time of Magnus Carlsen, impossible. So, what was I mean, which year he should try to become world champion?
Just unfortunate coincidence, living in the time when Magnus is there.
No, but even before Magnus, there was, let's say, Kramnik, who defeated Kasparov. Then you have Vichy. I mean, you maybe Aronian had a chance against Vichy, but objectively speaking, of course, Anand was completely deserved world champion. In my opinion, Anand is one of the most talented chess players ever. Can you imagine he was finishing games within 15 minutes in classical chess? So he plays a game against
So
Kasparov. Kasparov spends 2 hours, he spends 15 minutes. Yeah, because
he won the game twice. It means that literally,
no,
not
because
only on the board.
he's walking and he cannot reach the board in time. Yeah, so he spends his 15 minutes just to walk. Yeah, so unbelievable. Vichy was, in my opinion, one of the most talented players in the chess history. He could have reached, I think, even more than he reached. I mean, he was world champion, but I think he could have defeated already Kasparov in the 90s. So. Which he didn't manage. Okay, let's go. We have only one suggestion in the chat. Knight takes h7. Possible, but not the best. So let's first begin with the best move. And in the game we have the move knight g4 being played. It is the beginning of unbelievable game. You will see. Amazing game. So why not knight h7? Let's check the move in the chat. So for example, white takes back. We have to go king h8. Now maybe the idea is to play f5 or queen h4 to win the bishop, but the bishop can go back. So let's try something solid like bishop e4. And white is a pawn up. Maybe black has some compensation, but is it enough? Not so sure. Georgi, what do you think? It's enough compensation here for black, or black is worse?
I actually think black should be worse, probably, because what exactly are we going to follow up with? At some point, g3 ideas might be defending, and if I trade off the light squared bishops, I'm not so sure, actually. And if I take it, I'll gladly take it with the queen, though.
Sure. I mean,
so
if black takes, we definitely take it with a queen. This looks like just a pawn up for white.
I think white is doing great. I don't see much of compensation myself. Let's say if c takes d4.
Little trick.
Okay.
But
that's a nice one.
Queen h, but
I will immediately...
Doesn't work. f4 defense.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I wouldn't blink an eye to take the b7 bishop the moment you let me.
But how?
After c, like I can immediately, right? Or I can't.
Not sure, because now if this is better or not better, very hard to say, Georgi, because I have so many moves now. I have idea like rook c5 with is it a mate? Is it not a mate? But even this rook c7, is it so easy? If you take
rook c7, my plan was just to take back.
Yeah, okay, this is better. Yeah, this is better. You're right.
So rook c5 is the.
No, but I don't know. But
move,
maybe there's no mate. Maybe I don't know. Needs to be calculated. But maybe
it's a bit risky.
Probably it's okay for white. Yeah. Okay, maybe you can take b7. Yeah. Okay, in any case, to take on h7, not the best. So here we go. With the move knight to g4, fantastic move. But actually, knight g4 is not the key move of the game, obviously, because knight g4, yes, it is a difficult move to make, but not that hard. h2 is hanging. Here comes a beautiful idea in the game. We have the move f4 been made, blocking everything, makes sense. What would happen after the move g3? For those who did mate in 2 yesterday, who did mate in 2 with Georgi, all of you should see this kind of tactics.
Yes. How do we get closer to the king? I think something similar quite a couple of years ago in Fast and Control, Daniel Dubov played against Nihal Sarin. And a similar idea. I'll try to clip that moment when we might make like a remake of it as well. It was quite beautiful, no doubt. And I remember Asarin's reaction from the video footage.
Okay.
He, yeah, he was genuinely impressed by the. You know, when you know you lost the game, but it's that beautiful that okay, well, you kind of don't mind as much.
I don't think
It was one
Sarin
of
doesn't
those
mind,
moments.
Georgi. I think you speak about the
He
wrong guy.
did. He was dead deep inside, but he kept his cool. Actually, it was like,
Yes,
okay,
I
it
think.
is what it is.
Okay. So, maybe some people in the chat see already this beautiful combination. What is coming next? We have two ideas actually. So again, for those of you of yesterday, maybe you can see that. The idea is knight takes h2. So very, very beautiful. We take the pawn on h2. We want to go knight f3. Take a look at the bishop on b7. So powerful. If king takes, we go queen h4. Another pin. King g1 and a little mate on h1. So very, very beautiful. And as well, there's an idea of playing, of course, immediately the move queen h4. Obviously, we attack the pawn on h2. Queen cannot be taken because of bishop takes h2. But the problem is that there is a defense, and the defense is the move f4 or f3. So the queen from c2 protects the pawn on h2. Quite a bad luck for black, but yes, we have the move knight takes h2, so it's alright. That's why in this position, white plays the move f4. After f4, we take ed. And here comes one of the most spectacular moves that I have ever seen in chess. Such a beautiful move by black. What happens next? Georgi, don't you think you ever made a move like that?
Hell no.
Next,
Hell no. No,
it's
no.
such a great move. What is coming next?
Definitely not.
Maybe someone in the chat could guess the next move of black. It's one of the greatest moves I have ever seen with black.
I don't think if I would be even going to this variation, it would even cross my mind in calculation. Like knight g4, okay, I might look at it. That queen coming there, I would say is f4. C takes, e takes, I would reach this position actually.
Yes.
And I
no.
would calculate this knight h2, queen h4, all these options. But the one which was played, no.
Yeah, the move in the game
I'm not that guy.
is
really.
unbelievable. Our chat is very shy today. Try to suggest something, or in case you have a question, please ask. So, because there are 0 suggestions, we're gonna proceed. And here comes one of the most beautiful moves of chess that I have ever seen as well, Georgi. So it is unbelievable move, bishop c5. How to play such a move like bishop c5, no, Georgi? It looks like it makes no sense, no? It looks completely shocking. I mean, your rook is under attack. So we have so many options to attack the white king. We don't do that. Instead, we play the move bishop c5. So we sacrifice our own bishop instead of doing something. And actually, bishop c5 is a winning move. How to explain that? In most of the cases, chess is a logical game, but it makes no sense, no, Georgi? How to play a move like bishop c5 and win the game? You just put your bishop and it can be taken by the pawn.
Yes, like it's really crazy. I probably might have calculated knight c5.
Okay.
With this intention that at the end the bishop ends up there and do something later. But bishop c5 looks like just kind of a misclick to me if it will be played online. Yes, easily. Just let's say when you are like playing with the piece, you know, and something, and all of a sudden it just ends up there. Yeah. But brilliant. No, this is just absolutely flawless game.
Yeah, no brilliant doubt. Move. I mean, so spectacular to play bishop c5 even once in your life. Bishop c5, you played chess with a reason. So, bishop c5, why is it so strong? In the game we have white playing bishop e2, so white is not taking the bishop. So let's see what happens actually if white takes the bishop. Knight takes c5. So black is sacrificing a full piece. The idea of black is to play queen d4 next, plus the bishop is hanging on d3. So the things of course are extremely complicated, but let us check one line. So for example, white takes the rook. We give a check. King goes to h1, we take the bishop on d3. And here actually there is no defense from this nasty mate of knight f2. Let's make another example here. So for example, white will play some random move just to show you how beautiful mate can be given on the board, or queen e2. And now check out on this mate. Georgi, have you ever given a mate like that with two knights?
Definitely not. And I really wish
this is a checkmate to the white king. Incredible checkmate.
Very nice. Very nice.
So beautiful. Unbelievable.
Very good calculation as well. Like,
yeah, huge.
Yeah, well.
Absolutely huge play. I mean, no questions. Such a move, bishop c5, and then to see all these ideas, all these mating ideas, and black is sacrificing a lot of material, so very difficult. And soon we're gonna see now again an unbelievable move by black. Knight to e3, we see in the chat, knight e3, bishop on c1.
Will be there.
Bishop on c1 protects the e3 square. Yeah, this is not working. So, Georgi, here comes another move. Would you do the next move of black?
If I played bishop c5, probably yes, already at this point.
But
to me, bishop c5 is more impressive than the follow-up.
I think both.
Personally. Because if I feel like bishop stands already on c5, making this kind of move is like a piece of cake. Like, it's just a cherry on top of the cake, literally. It comes naturally, this move, at this point already. Because you went too far already in chess when you are capable of making the moves like bishop c5, that there is nothing dragging you back anymore. So, yes, the next one, I think if I can make anything close to bishop c5, I will be able to find the follow-up as well.
Okay, so the next move as well, extremely spectacular. Let's say, more easy would have been, of course, just to take on d4. You might say, why not to take on d4? And indeed, why not to take on d4? It's not a bad move, but after king h1, there is no straight win. And this is the problem. So position of black should be winning. Yes, this is true, but there is no direct win. So it's like not a straight win. And instead of taking on d4, here we go. Knight e5. What a move. Georgi, now we play bishop c5 to have the bishop just being crushed by the pawn on d4, and we put another piece. It's like white can choose what to take, yeah?
Actually, how many pieces are hanging in there? Like 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 as well, and so on. But it doesn't look like Anand cares about it. It's just, it was like, oh, 3 pieces hanging. Let's add the 4th one. No problem. Let's go for it. No, this is absolute top level game, though.
This is just incredible to play this bishop c5. Now knight e5, and this is not the end. There's gonna be one more of crazy moves. So black is taking on g4. Why black is taking on g4? Because in case we take on e5, then we have this similar. I don't know what is happening with my leeches today. The whole screen is freezing sometimes. I don't know.
For me too as well, actually. I think the servers are down, yes.
So king h1, and the idea is same with the move knight f2. We are finishing this beautiful game, but my leech is hanging, so we have this white stuff sometimes on the screen. The game is getting less beautiful, but still a beauty. So knight f2 with a mate, and that's it. So very, very beautiful. Incredible play, no, Georgi? Just incredible play. But
no doubt.
But now
looks great.
I hope that my computer does not collapse, or maybe there is something downloading something, but seems to be okay. But okay, let's hope everything is okay. Okay, so we have this knight e5, unbelievable. Here goes bishop g4, so white is trying to change some pieces, which is normal in case you want to defend, and here knight f8. So white is still an exchange up. Of course, the black pieces are attacking. Obviously, white position is very, very dangerous, but here comes another spectacular move. Maybe some of the spectators can try to find the next move of black. What could it be? Very hard to find, by the way, no, Georgi? What do you think about the next move?
100%.
Because you said
Yeah.
bishop c5 you would not find, knight e5 you would eventually find, and about the next move?
About the next move, well, I would hesitate a lot. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Definitely. But after I see the most direct way to play, how white refutes it, I kind of feel like there are not many other opportunities left. So I think, let's put it that way. Bishop c5, impossible level for me.
Okay.
Knight e5, possible but very difficult.
Okay.
And this move, difficult but findable, let's say.
Yes.
I would put it in that range, yes.
Oh, something bad is happening. Maybe we need to restart the stream, Georgi. I think it's my computer.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a collapse.
Or I will be able to show perhaps the moves, and it still
If
will be
it's not collapsing,
on
then
the
yes.
screen.
But I don't know what is happening actually. Something is wrong, but okay, let's try. If it collapses, we'll be back within 5 minutes. I will just restart my computer and the thing should be fine. So the next move of black, very, very hard, and it is the move f5. Unbelievable move f5, because we don't take the piece. Black is a full rook down. The idea is that after queen h4, there is this idea of queen h7. Queen comes out of nowhere to h7, because otherwise black would obviously win, because the pawn on h2 cannot be protected. In case of h3, we have mate in 1. Boom. Queen takes h3, wins. So the defense for white is this queen h7, and of course we should not go for an endgame. So now we have an endgame, and white to go for an endgame when we want to give a mate to the white king. That's why, of course, no queen h4, but anyway, to play f5 is just such a nice move to make. To be just a rook down. White has an extra rook, and we just keep calm by playing the move f5 instead of taking the knight and then continuing attacking. I mean, I think it's a very difficult move to make, Georgi. I think it's really very, very difficult move to make. So
that's a tough one, no doubt.
Fantastic play by black. Absolutely amazing game. Knight to g6. Knight tries to escape. We play the move queen f6. Knight is hanging. Knight has no good squares to go. So we have h3. White is trying to get the knight. Black is taking the knight. We cannot take on g4 because there is a mate. So queen e2. As we can see, Aronian is trying to defend, but the things are getting tougher. And here comes the last move of the game. Who can guess the last move of the game? Please write your ideas in the chat. The game ends with the next move of black. A nice move. This one is not
really, really big one.
Yeah, it's a nice move again, but the moves we have seen earlier, it's a different level. This one we can find already. This is possible to find. So what should black play next? Black has a winning...
Also, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to give it a thumbs up to the live stream. It helps us, supports us. Subscribe if you haven't done so yet. More educational videos will be coming, and we will get more motivated to create some interesting stuff for you guys. And who can play like world champion now? Just one move away. You make it, and white resigns on spot.
Yes. A very, very beautiful move.
And you do end up on YouTube if you play the game like that 100%, actually. As long as it is correct, he could say hello YouTube as well during the game as well. 100% he gets there.
Okay, so...
I think if you play the game like that, you can retire. Like, you have done everything already.
I think Georgi,
that's it.
If you play a game like that, you just get started, no? I mean...
pretty much, yes. Excited to see... yes, this is like... I don't know. You know... As tennis players put their rocket on the wall there and they said that that's it, you can just put the king there or whatever, actually said it, okay, I'm done.
That's it.
I've done everything, yes.
Okay, so the next move of black, the winning move is bishop e3. So black sacrifices once again the bishop. And that's it, because there is no way to avoid queen takes h3 next. Bishop on b7 is pitting the white king, so the pawn cannot take the queen. Queen takes h3. that's it. Game is done and Aronian resigns. What a game, yeah? Unbelievable game, in my opinion. Georgi,
Amazing, no
one of
doubt,
the
actually.
nicest
Very high
games
class.
of chess history. Yeah, very, very beautiful. Okay, so we did now some attacking game. Georgi, what should we do? Another attacking game, or should we proceed with defense or some puzzles?
What do you think about the puzzles? I think people got quite excited last time we worked over, let's say, mates in two or
Okay.
or a tactical combinations as well. We have one
Yes,
of it
yes,
as
yes.
well. Will be quite interesting.
Okay, so
That
then,
too.
if you say so, we proceed with the combinations. So let me set up the study just a second. Here we go, and just 1 second. Here it is. Okay, here we go. It starts easy, then it gets more difficult. Georgi, you have it visible?
Yes, all
Okay,
set.
Georgi, so
I'm in it.
start. You start with a study number 1, so we will see a lot of winning combinations here, different kind of winning combinations, different motives. Not too hard the level, but still not so bad. So let's see
Yes,
how the
indeed.
guys in the chat will be doing. Georgi,
Yes,
floor
that's
is
the
yours.
time. Thank you. That's the time, ladies and gentlemen, to tune in and tell us exactly which stuff you need to do. I understand if you cannot play like Vishyana, don't worry about it. I can't do it either, actually. But if you
Actually.
face this kind of actually, yes, it is actually was the keyword there mentioning, you know?
Surprisingly, yeah.
So surprisingly, it's too difficult actually to pull it off. So now, in the current situation, we're looking at some combinations. Last time we looked at mates in 2, mate in 1, and so on, many other informative stuff. So what is going on in this current situation? Any recommendations as well in chat, feel free to write it, or for warming up, I will start explaining and then eventually tune in. Well, we see that materially it's equal, both sides have the queens and the knights, but Black's king is a little bit weakened on b8. We might try to use this momentum somehow. Queen b4 is something which comes in mind almost immediately whenever we have the opportunity to give a check, kind of why not? But if we do that, the king kind of escapes on c8, and what is the follow-up? We don't have really much going on. On the other hand, the knight can try to be tricky and give some kind of check with the discovered attack to the queen, but we've got to be cautious. Here we go. We have a recommendation, knight c6. Do we agree with that, ladies and gentlemen? Let's confirm that. If we try some discovered check like knight d7, that looks cool because we say check and we're attacking the queen at the same time, but black has got some good defensive resource. Queen can grab the knight, which is well guarded, and we actually lose a piece. Therefore, we have another option of playing knight c6. We are giving a check plus freeing up the queen, so black's queen will be lost in a short order. Regardless of where the king goes or black taking the pawn, that would lead to the same position with queen g7, extra queen. It's quite easy for white to win the game already.
Okay, so first position solved. Let's go with the next one. Next one as well is just to warm up. We have quite a normal position actually on the board. Queen, rook versus queen, rook. Position seems to be equal, but actually white can give a mate in 2 moves. Let's see if you can do that. Please write your answers in the chat. White can win here by giving a checkmate within 2 moves. We have to attack something, so let's try. How can we win here? And the win is rook takes h7 check. King has to take the rook. Nothing else is there. Yes, rook h7, excellent solution in the chat. So take and queen h5 with a mate. Quite simple. On the other hand, quite beautiful. Sacrifice on h7, a typical motif in chess. This is the kind of things we see quite frequently. Queen h5, it's a mate. Georgi, let's do the third one.
Okay. Oh, that is kind of my favorite ones, and every time I make this combination on the board, there's a smile on my face, regardless of
Such
how
a
bad
mean
my
guy.
tournament was.
Such a mean
Yes.
guy. Just Georgi likes a little bit to not to humiliate, but
Something close to
to
that,
check, yeah,
actually.
to check the
Because
character of your opponent.
yes, I really do believe that in chess there should be some bonus points. Like, depends how you win the game. Like, for example, Anand's victory, that it deserves 1 point, and my victory sometimes against some random guys also deserves 1 point. I think it's a bit unfair, though. Like, you need to give some extra points. Rugby has an excellent option there. You do 3 tries and you get an extra 1 point. Something similar, we should try to do it. So we will just check it out. Okay, meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, we really want to go after the king on h8, and we have some recommendations. Here we are. People are saying, how about queen g8?
And how
Knight
about
g6 is
knight g6?
also there. It's not too bad, actually. Think about it. Here we have knight g6 as well. Because look, guys, like knight goes on g6, we give a check, black just captures it, and we can win the queen, right? Is that the end of it?
But yeah, maybe not.
There is a huge problem. We guys won the queen, no doubt, but we actually lost the game. So there is a rook d1 coming up. Always pay attention to these details at the end of the line. Do not stop calculation. If your opponent can keep giving you some checks perhaps, and they can create some threats, always try to put the dot at the end of the variation when more or less everything is safe. Right after rook d1, king goes on h2, and we have got rook h1 coming up, where we have absolutely no defense. That's why we need to try option number 2. How about we try queen g8, which was recommended in chat as well. In this case, we force the enemy's queen to take on g8, and the most beautiful checkmates in chess. After en passant mate, knight g6. King has no good square to go, everything is covered up, and black can't do anything anymore. So that's a really, really beautiful one. But it's very informative and educational that we should not rush just putting the knight on g6 and trying to get away with it, because at the end of the line, we are actually getting mated. So queen g8, queen takes, knight g6 does the job, and white wins the game.
Quite nice indeed. Let's proceed. So here, I think this puzzle is already in a different level. So this is a little bit more difficult. We have pair of rooks against the queen. So who is stronger? Pair of rooks or queen? I think it depends on the position. So this is something very tricky in chess. Sometimes queen is better than pair of rooks. Sometimes rooks are better than pair of queen. Usually I would advise you, in case you're not a professional player, then it's more easy to play with a queen. Because to coordinate the rook sometimes it's really a hard task that only a quite high level professional player might be able to do it. But in case you're not a professional player, then it's very difficult. So usually queen more easy to play than pair of rooks. In the current situation, of course, we will try to attack the black's king. Black's king position on the last rank, not so nice. So the rook is cutting the black king. So in case we can get the rook from h1 somehow to the last square, we're gonna win the game. But is there a way to get the rook to the 8th rank? Because in case we play immediately this, then the queen is gonna take it. So we lose the rook. How to win the game with the white pieces. And in case we do slow play, then there will be a lot of checks to the king on d2. So we have to rush. We have to play dynamically with white. Maybe you see something, please suggest it in the chat. It would be nice to hear from you. If actually you can find a win in the current position, there is a win. And maybe let me show you the win. It is to play still rook h8. So black has to take it. There is nothing else, otherwise it's a checkmate. So black is taking the rook, and now we give this check on the 8th rank. So rook a8. King has to be moved, and we take the queen on h8. And obviously, with the rook up in an endgame, this is an easily winning position for white. So a nice idea, quite a typical idea, and we should remember this idea. Now something collapsed. Georgi, it collapsed also for you, or just for me? Okay, we're back.
All set for my side. Okay,
we're back.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And we have it recommendation in chat, rook h8 as well.
Yes,
seems
rook
like
h8
someone
indeed,
spotted.
Yeah. Yes, that's exactly what
Very
we should
good.
play. Perfect, yeah. So we have this rook 8, queen, king b7, rook h8. Please remember this idea of playing rook h8 to sacrifice the rook, and then we have this kind of very tricky check, and we're winning back the piece. This is a typical idea for chess. For a lot of chess games are finishing like that. So please do remember this idea of rook h8 check, or rook a8. So it can be, of course, left or right. Good, quite a nice idea, Georgi. It ever happened in your games that you...
Yes, actually, quite some.
Okay.
Well, two rooks versus queen is not that frequent in my games, but I usually have whenever it happens, I noticed always two rooks are better in my games, at least.
Okay.
Yes, I am actually, rook is definitely my favorite piece in chess in general to start with. And whenever I get the opportunity to get some endings connected to them, I'm always happy with it. So yes, I had it in my practice, and this tactical motive as well, had it a couple of times minimum. So have executed it as well, and definitely smile on my face at the end is no doubt after that.
Rook takes queen. Okay, Georgi, let's go with the next one. We have a lot of
next
samples.
One. Yes, indeed. Okay, here we go. That's a good question, Arkady. To you, what do you think? I will read it. So, will you suggest everyone? Okay.
No, please read, Georgi. It's okay.
So, will you suggest everyone to start playing chess once they learn tactics?
Okay, to learn tactics, it's like never-ending story. Because there is no end for the tactics, you should do them more. So you can start playing chess just for fun at any given moment. Learn to know the pieces, how they move, learn a couple of motives, and you can already play with your friends. There is nothing wrong with that. Personally, I believe chess is a great game, so why not to play it? So I don't see why not. Do you know many more games that are as interesting as chess? I don't know many. Yeah, of course, there are some games that are deserving attention, definitely. But chess, I believe, is one of the most interesting games, one of the most interesting board games, or I don't know how to call it exactly, but let's call it board game, yeah.
Board game, indeed.
Yeah.
All right. So what is going on in this situation? We always try to look for tactical complications on the board. So if we try to go for something like bishop takes g5 gives us nothing, rook d1 idea might be interesting to attack the queen, but when it comes to looking for the tactical opportunities, I would recommend you to look at these two things in the calculation. Number one, if you have any sort of checks in the calculation, go for it and calculate it. If you have the opportunity to look for some captures, also calculate that as well. So these two things is a must to look at it. What kind of checks do we have in this situation? There is only one sensible option, which is queen takes g7. But after that, when the king takes back, you might just say that, okay, well, we just lost the queen and there is nothing. But do not stop the variation there. If you have some ideas of giving checks and kind of keep going, always try that. And here we are with the fork to the king and the queen.
Family
going
fork.
After the queen. Family fork, indeed. Yeah. And what is black going to do? Yes, let's say king goes on f6, for example, knight d6. And we actually won a piece because we gave up the queen, but captured the knight because we took it on g7. and the queen on d6. At the end of the day, we have an extra piece, and the position looks amazing as well. So that's
Should be
it.
winning,
White just
should be
wins a
winning.
piece.
Yeah. Quite a
Nice
nice
tactical
combo.
shot, no doubt.
Yeah. Queen sacrifice, then we get the queen back, we have piece up, that's it. Let's go to the next position.
And before that, we do have some things in chat. I see. Hello, everyone. Is Stillman's complete endgame book good for beginners? I actually have read it and recommend it to my students as well. I would say yes, it is actually quite helpful.
Yes.
Poker, about the board game, actually, it seems like an interesting one. Which one do you think is better and more interesting, Arkady? And before that, I love Arkady Naiditsch's playing style. Excellent. Compliments already coming as well.
It would be good to hear like 6 years ago when I've been still playing well. Now things are usually not going the good direction, but time to time I have still a good game. Yeah, but it's getting more rare and more rare. Yeah. But yeah, thank you very much. By the way, if you are a very beginner, personally, I would not advise you to do a lot of endgames because as a very beginner, you should not do endgames. You will never get a normal endgame. As a beginner, don't do too many endgames. Endgames you should start to do when you're, in my opinion, approaching the level of at least 1500. At least. Before that, to do endgames makes just no sense because you will never get an equal endgame. You will get endgame piece up, you will get endgame rook up, but this is not a normal endgame. So you don't need the endgame knowledge in case you have rook up, bishop up, etc. So endgames, to start to do endgames, you must be already quite a decent player. So you must be already, let's say, average club player. Before that, to do endgames is making not so much of a sense, yeah. Okay,
Let's see, we have
let's go.
some some stuff, and actually, very good questions. We have it. Endgames are important, though. Well, Arkady responded on that, not in the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm very new at this game. Can you suggest me stages to learn chess? Should we tell them to wait a little bit and they will have the idea what to do next?
Yes,
soon,
yes.
guys.
Soon,
wait for it.
Soon, the application will be out. It will be perfect to learn chess from the very, very beginning to, let's say, at least 1800 chess, ELO chess player. So a bit of patience. I think we will be publishing the app within the next month. It will be for Android and for the iOS devices, so you'll be able to download iPhone or Samsung or whatever you have. Just a bit of patience and we can do that together. So I'm very excited because we've been building that for like long time, so finally out within a month. Okay, Georgi, let us do some puzzles because we talk too much and then we forget actually that this is an educational stream, so some people want just to learn. All right, so here we have another very, very typical training motive here. Typical idea that we have this kind of hidden check. I like to call it hidden check. So we have queen versus queen. But it can be as well with all kind of different pieces, but the idea remains the same. So we use the situation that the queens are standing frontal, or again, it is not necessarily, it doesn't have to be a queen, it can be random piece, doesn't matter. All we need to learn is the idea of bishop h7, exactly correct in the chat. Kevin, yes, said it correctly, and I think also before somebody did it. Now, bishop h7, yeah, it was said by Gabon Chess Academy.
Gabon,
yes. Discover check. Yes, you can call it discover check. Bishop on h7, boom. So this idea, very, very important just to know it and to see it, of course, very, very quickly. King takes the bishop and we take the queen, so we are a queen up. Again, it can work in all kind of different situations. Just remember this discover check, I think is the official name of it. I like to call it this kind of tricky check stuff. So bishop h7 and taking the queen. Okay, Georgi, let's do the next one. and then we might answer some questions in the chat. Otherwise, we just answer the questions and we
Sure.
don't move on.
Let's
Yeah.
move on. Okay. Well, as we can see, do you remember what we mentioned, chat? That we need to look at checks, captures, potential ones every time you try to look for some tactical opportunities. And we have two good options. Okay, captures, when it comes to that, queen f4 is not a good idea. Queen h7 might be an interesting one, we'll get there. And another good looking option might be knight g5, because it attacks the queen and the bishop at the same time. If we start with that, even though it looks tempting, black can actually cover up, and when the queen moves, can hold up to the h7 bishop. So, for example...
Just, Georgi,
Sure.
1 second, please. Something is not good.
Of course.
Cannot open, cannot move. I hope we can proceed, or I need to restart.
Sorry, ladies
While
and gentlemen,
recording,
technical issues.
I think we're off.
Trying to fix it.
I think we're off, Georgi.
Off.
I think so. I don't know. Are we?
Can you hear us, guys? Think live we are. Live we are.
Oh, we are live?
Yes, live we are.
Okay, just let me quickly come back because I don't know exactly what happened.
Sometimes some servers lagging and so on. The other day, Lich's servers were down actually, and that was a bit annoying part there. So this is a perfect opportunity to do it blindfolded. I think, ladies and gentlemen, whatever you have seen, it was enough. Imagine it now, what is going on in your head, and try to figure it out, how to proceed farther later. So we have some recommendations.
I think we're back.
Oh, we are back.
We're back.
Excellent. Sounds good. Okay, then, yes, indeed, all set. Some people were calculating it blindfolded. Very good. It's also a good tactical vision, improves it. So we were looking at the move like knight g5, attacking the queen and the bishop at the same time, but it doesn't quite work because black's queen can just go on f5 or g6 and protect it. But then we say that, okay, we look at the checks first, right? So what checks do we have? Queen takes h7. Does it work? King h7. Do not stop right there. If you have a continuation of the series of checks or something like that, just continue farther. And here, if you see, again, this family fork, knight g5, hitting the king and the queen at the same time, it becomes clear that it's the same type of combination what we get. Let's say the king goes away, and then we grab the queen on e6. And that actually looks cool. We just won a piece, and the game is already winning.
Yes, quite nice. And in the chat, what is the opinion on Sicilian Taimanov? Yeah, it's a nice opening, very sharp opening. Why not? Can be played. Can be played. So let's proceed with the next one. And here we have a bit different idea, but as well a very, very familiar motive. For example, Georgi, I guess you used this motive a couple of times in your life.
Yes,
no? Probably even more than that,
yes,
because it's quite a typical way of winning the game. How fast, Georgi, do you find this kind of solutions? How fast are you?
When I see, it's like when the shark smells the drop of blood in the ocean. I'm like that. When I see the back rank happening like this, I immediately, actually very, very soon.
Okay.
Like almost automatically moves come in and so on in my...
So, Georgi is like a shark that smells the blood. Drop of blood. Not even
Yes.
a lot of blood.
Drop of blood.
Drop of blood.
Just a drop of blood.
Okay, so let's proceed. How can we win here? I think we should quickly see this knight to g5 is quite well positioned, especially with a king on g8 and the idea of rook e8. This would be a mate, but we cannot give a mate because the bishop on g6 prevents us from giving a mate in one. So the question is, can we do something about it? Is there a way somehow to get the bishop somewhere? So we need to try, what can we do with the bishop on g6? Is there a way to get rid of the bishop on g6? Can we give the bishop some bait, and we can. So we're gonna give the bishop on g6 quite a big bait. Queen takes c2. We're taking the rook on c2. So black is happy for the current moment, takes our queen on c2, but after rook e8 with a mate, less happy situation for the black player. So quite typical idea. Please do remember this motive. This is a very common motive, a very important motive. We use the back rank by baiting out the defenders. Queen takes c2, bishop takes, and rook e8. So quite nice, quite easy. If he doesn't take the queen, well, then we have just a full rook up. So for example, if black takes now the knight, we might take on g6, and obviously this game is not going to last very long. Rook e8, that's it. So please do remember this idea, very useful idea. Maybe in your next blitz games on Lichess or wherever you play, you might be able to make use out of it. Otherwise, of course, please subscribe, give us a like. We just started the channel in the beginning, never easy, so tell your friends, and with that you would help us very much. Let's go. Number 9, Georgi.
Oof. Okay, this kind of motive doesn't happen frequently, and I have to admit I have missed it in my games as well, unfortunately.
Okay.
But it's not like a drop of blood in the ocean, but let's say a liter of blood or something. You know, it's not so quick, but okay, it's still there. Well, what is going on here with white? Probably if someone just joined is wondering, what am I even talking about? Actually explaining some chess positions and some blood and everything in the ocean. But okay, anyhow. So here, black has the whole army defending the king. Like literally, we have the queen on h6. We want to go for queen g7, but there is 150 pieces covering it up, and black did all they need to defense. What other opportunities do we have? As I said, first let's start with the checks. Like queen g7 doesn't give us anything, after takes it. If queen h7, there is king h7, knight g5 is possible, but there is no good follow-up. It seems like our rooks are one light here away from the attack, so we need to do something real quick. And that's when the moves, that's when this knight kicks in. Knight doesn't care how many pieces are nearby, far away, something, just goes there and crushes the enemy king. Doesn't matter how many pieces are nearby, as long as he can even far away say hi to the king, it's good enough. So a beautiful motive for white is knight g5. The threat is queen h7 mate, but probably you're wondering, okay, but how about we are dropping the queen? But that's when the knight kicks in. We go to knight f7, and is it the smothered mate? It is, right? So it is a smothered mate in this case. Yes.
Maybe,
so...
Georgi, I'm not very strong in the names, but I can give the mates.
That's the most important ones.
Yeah.
Also, back in the day, I remember some of my students were asking me, do you know this opening? And they say the name which I've never heard of.
Yeah,
I always was telling them, please make it on the board or tell me the move order. Ah, you meant Taimanov. You meant Ragozin. But they were coming up with some weird thoughts that I have no idea. Opening names are changing. Same with this kind of mates. If you would put me on spot and ask me, what is this checkmate called? Or what is another mate called? Probably I would guess like 10% of it, the names, maximum. So here, knight g5, getting to f7 square, but most importantly, we want to go here, and just knight f7 coming next. There is nothing black can do about it. We win the game on spot.
Yes.
Quite nice one.
Nice and important motive, as Georgi said. He has missed a couple of times to give a mate like that. Me as well, especially with little time. With more time on the clock, I think Georgi and me would manage that, but having little time on the clock sometimes, it's so easy to miss this idea that you can mate the black king having just a knight. So, important thing to know. Let's go with the next one. And what do we have here? So, the next one. looks a bit more complex, but we use the idea that we already know. Let's see if somebody in the chats manages to solve the current position. Rook is under attack. The pieces are pretty equal, so we have pair of rooks on each side. We have knight and bishop versus knight and bishop. So pretty normal. How to win this position with white? Can we give a check somewhere? Yes, we have an option. Can we move the rook somewhere? Yes, we can, but does it really help us? And the solution is bishop a7. So we have this check, but the idea, we know it already from before when we had the bishop on d3, queen d1, queen d5, and we gave a check on h7. This time we are not winning the queen, but we are winning the rook. So bishop a7, the bishop is taken, and we take the rook on c4. So we change our bishop for the black rook, which is a very, very good change. Let's say on a professional level, this position is obviously a winning position for white, so there is no way to escape anymore with black. Exchange up in an endgame, it's enough to win the game on the professional level. But I guess as well on a club level, player should be able to win this, no, Georgi? What do you think?
Well, I would have said differently 3 days ago. But now I actually have a bit different opinion right after checking some tournament called Arab Chess Championship lately, and I've changed my mindset completely actually. So 2400 rated players plundering a piece in one move, just in one move with 25 minutes on the clock.
Yes.
And it happened too many times that I wouldn't say so. And 2300 is considered as a very professional player, no doubt. So 3 days ago, if you would ask me this question, I would say yes, but I'm not certain at the moment.
Okay, so if you're not certain at the moment, maybe you're certain what to do here with the white pieces.
Yes, indeed. Someone in the past messages I saw said royal fork. Royal fork is when knight shines like a diamond, attacks everything together. But I remember once my friend told me that he was so excited. He was a beginner in chess and told me that he forked the king, queen, rook, bishop, and knight. And I asked him, and what at the end? And the knight, he said. I said, congratulations.
Yeah.
What did your opponent do? He said, okay, well, it didn't have a happy ending. Yes, he took the knight there. All right. So we need to get closer. As we said, checks, captures, threats, right? So what checks do we have? Rook e8. Thank you so much. No need. This is not a charity. We need to look for something different. Another check, we have bishop takes f7, which we need to investigate in. And there is one interesting move, knight e5, which looks good. Attacks the queen, attacks the rook at the same time, and plus the pawn on f7. But our happiness will not last long, because we just get mated in one, and we can prepare for the next round immediately. And yes, well, so
Big
we need
emotions.
to look for... Yes, indeed. What happens if we take it on f7? Well, okay, if the king goes away, we are ready to grab on g6. But how about king takes on f7? When that happens, we're going to bring the knight on e5, attack the king, rook, and the queen at the same time. And well, there is no happy ending. But if we need to figure out what to take right now, which piece, a rook or the queen, it's quite obvious answer. I have seen some memes even mentioning, would you make checkmate in one or en passant? Because en passant apparently is really cool in the amateur mindset, but we do want to grab the queen, no questions asked. And this is a beautiful combination. Pay attention to the moves like bishop f7, dragging the king up, and then going for royal fork. That actually looks good. We can use it as a thumbnail maybe or something like that. It's a really good cover.
Royal fork, yeah, indeed. Let's go with the next one. So here we have another beautiful motive. How to give a mate here in 3 moves. So white can win within 3 moves. Forced mate. 2 rooks and a queen. queen is far away, but queen is looking the right direction. So the pawn h7. At the moment, the pawn h7 is defended by the knight. The rook on e1, also quite a good piece. Actually, it looks so good to play here rook e8. This would be my first thought. Can I play the move rook e8 because I'm gonna pin here everything? But the problem is now black is having this option of bishop h3 check. So again, the same idea that we saw 2 puzzles ago. White is gonna take the bishop and the black rook will take our rook, and black is just a full piece up. So bad news, bad news. Rook e8 is not working. What can we do here? How can we do something? And of course, there must be something, otherwise it would be not a puzzle. Maybe somebody might write in the chat the solution, but not so simple. Not so simple to solve
Ahmad
it.
mentioning rook e8, rook h7, something along this combination. Yes, one
That's
of them
correct.
is a good one.
That's correct. Something should be happening here, and the beginning move is a beautiful move. Queen takes h7. So we sacrifice a queen. Black has to take here. Nothing else is possible. And here we go. Rook e8. King has no squares. Can we put something in between the rook and the king? It can be only the queen because there is no way to move the knight. We have the rook on h4. So queen f8, and we take the queen. This is a checkmate. So quite a beautiful idea, a very useful idea to be remembered. Queen sacrifice, rook e8, and we give a mate. Again, it can be in all possible kind of positions. It's not always a queen sacrifice. It can be first rook sacrifice or bishop sacrifice, etc. But the idea remains the same, so quite an important motive to be remembered. Quite nice as well. Georgi, number 13 is yours.
Okay, here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, do you remember what I said? Checks, captures, threats. And what do we have right here? We might get mated, actually, if we make some mistake. There's some queen h1 coming with some deadly threats later on, so we don't have time to waste. How about we try the move like queen takes f7, rook takes f7, some captures. So we look at checks first. If we take on f7 with the queen, what is going on next? Well, I can't just avoid it by sidestepping with the king because we go for queen f8. How about some other options? Maybe the rook can take it, perhaps on f7. Well, we have seen some back rank issues, and there we have got the opportunity to go on d8, and immediately, whenever you see the 8th rank clearing up like that, you need to be like me. Remember what I said about the drop of blood in the ocean? Done. We just go for rook d8. Rook f8 is the only option. With rook f8, checkmate there. So always pay attention to the checks. If it doesn't work, some captures. Navigate through in any kind of situation when it comes to the tactics is mandatory process. It will make it much faster, the elimination and finding the right move. So these are the steps, and here we can get to the right conclusion immediately, because that's the only check available. That's a good option, indeed.
Yes, indeed, Georgi. We have to double check every move we do. Can we take away something? Can we check? Very, very important. Okay, the next position, it's a bit different motive now. So, black king is on g7. It looks like king is pretty safe. But we have the bishop on h4, queen on e3. I guess you can see that the dark squares are under pressure. So not so easy for black here. f6, h6 theoretically could be exploited. So how to do that? On the other hand, we have to double check. Can we win some material instantly? Is there a way to win something? So for example, can I take the knight on e7? What happens? Black just takes back. Nothing happens. So this is just an exchange of pieces, so it doesn't matter. We should not change. What else can we do here? How can we get to the king on g7? And here we start checking checks. So we cannot win some material. Next is coming check. Where can I check? Can I sacrifice a queen? King is gonna take. What's next? Nothing. So this move is very bad. Can I sacrifice a bishop with a check? Now king has two options. King g8 and to take the bishop. In case king takes the bishop, I guess most of you see what's gonna happen next. And it is mate in one move, queen e5. Checkmate. King g5, not possible. We have the knight on f3. That's it, game is done. White is winning. That's why king g8 has to be played. And after king to g8, is there a way to get to the black king? And yes, we can. With a knight? No, it is the queen. Queen h6. Queen g7 is a deadly threat, so we want to give a checkmate. Is there a way for black to do something against the move queen g7? How to stop the queen from getting to g7? There is no way, so it doesn't matter what black is doing next. White is giving a checkmate on g7, so it will be a pre-move. Queen g7 next. Quite nice. Georgi, have you ever won games with such a pre-move like queen g7? You just pre-move a checkmate and there is no way to defend from it.
Actually, I have done some pre-moving in the past in these situations. And only one example you needed to stop doing it. And I do have a look at it just really, really carefully in these situations and make sure that I'm doing it properly. But bishop f6, queen h6 ideas, I've had it really many times. Usually when there is no dark squared bishop, I kind of enjoy life. I'm just sitting there and looking all the different possibilities. And it's so nagging pressure and terrible to play with the black pieces this occasion. So yeah, in the past, I've had these moments many times. How about you, Arkady? Bishop f6, sure. Throwing the bishop like that, especially?
Yes, I think this is quite a typical motive. Sometimes we get mated like that. Sometimes we are mating somebody like that. So this is quite typical, yeah. Let's go with the next one. Georgi. Oh, the next one is a nice one. This is a beauty.
Yes, indeed. Do we remember what we said? Checks, captures, threats. So don't look at the first option, king b1. Even though in World Cup you might see this move as the best one, or something like h4 and get away with it. So we go for something immediate, which is, how about we go queen e7? No, there are too many pieces capturing it. What about going for bishop takes f7? Maybe it's possible, but what do we achieve with that? Let's say king takes back. And now you need to see 1 light years away. There is a piece which stands alone, unprotected. This is the most complicated part in chess, spotting it from one side to another, jumping around. And yes, indeed, in chat we have it. We have got e6 check, and we open up the 5th rank, plus giving a check at the same time. What is black going to do? Regardless of what black does, capturing the pawn or moving the king away, we can win the queen. And in the beginning, black doesn't have any other good option either. If king takes, we have got this e6. And if the king comes up on d7, again the same motive, e6. And when the king goes away, then we grab the queen. Always pay attention to one detail, that in the calculation process starts with the checks, most direct captures, etc. If you see that it doesn't work, then you need to move on to the next stage. This is like a quick routine, but you should have it on regular basis while calculating. So bishop takes, king goes there, check, and we grab the queen far away. Maybe your opponent might have forgotten that the queen already stands there, but we don't care. We just take it and enjoy the victory.
But actually, Georgi, just coming back, this might be a typical heart attack situation. So you see this bishop takes f7.
I know what you're going to say.
And yes, you win the queen. Now imagine you're playing the move e6. You think you're super smart. So you think, now you're gonna sacrifice the queen, and you want to play the move bishop takes f7, and the computer doesn't let you because you're under check.
Oh no.
This,
Same thing happened to Vincent Keimer against Bibi Sara. They were playing fast time control. It is recorded live. And you know what did he do? He moved the queen at some point somewhere. And if his opponent, she was going to take it, let's say on c2, he was planning to fork the king and the queen and trade off the queens like that. But after the capture, he realized that it was a check.
oh,
So he couldn't do that anymore. So that actually is footage on that too.
this happens. This happens even to the best. Okay, the next example is again a new motive and quite an important one. For example, for those of you who like to play the Sicilian defense or any kind of positions where we have castle on opposite sides. So when we have castle on opposite sides, usually these are very dynamic positions. A very typical winning idea now for white. First idea might be to check on h7, but actually, what comes next? So we have to calculate. Let's see. We give a check. King f8. Can we do something here? There is no check here. There is no check nowhere. Yes, we might be able to attack maybe the pawn f7, but this is not enough. We want more. So to check on h7 is not the solution. So what could be the solution? Let's check something else. It is a rook sacrifice, quite a typical motive. In case I would not know this motive, I might be considering some different moves, but because I know the motive, I can see it very, very fast. Rook h8. In case king takes, we have queen h7, so this is a checkmate. And in case bishop takes on h8, here we have a checkmate within 2 moves. So we give a check still on h7, quite a long move. King on f8, and we give a checkmate by taking the pawn on f7. So it is a checkmate. So very, very useful motive. Rook h8. This we have in many sort of positions. Please do remember this idea of rook h8. Georgi, if you would not know this idea of rook h8, what do you think? How long it would take you to actually find the idea of rook h8?
If I have not seen that, so if I'm going back to 20 years ago, roughly, I would say probably 30 seconds to 1 minute. And if I would go back 20 years ago, there, because I'm always digging into Queen h8. At that time, I was quite active player, actually, young, going for these ideas almost immediately. And I was playing dragon variation with the black pieces, so I've always hated these things coming up on the H file. And everyone was following Fischer's footstep. They were opening the H file, they were giving me check, check, and they wanted checkmate. But I was trying to save it actually there. So I think roughly 30 seconds to a minute it would take me 2 decades ago, roughly, to get there.
Yes, and we have the correct question in the chat. Is position recognition ability coming by puzzle solving? Yes, of course. In case you do a lot of puzzle solving, at some moment you recognize very, very fast, and you can solve the positions very, very fast. At least the easy ones. The difficult ones, it's not exactly puzzle solving, or let's say not only puzzle solving, but 2-3 moves tactics. Yes, it is puzzle solving. Solve a lot of puzzles, and even grandmasters should solve puzzles daily. So do a lot of puzzles, and for sure you will be very, very sharp, extremely sharp. Okay, Georgi, next. Next position is yours.
Here we go. Well, it's really funny that everything comes with the motives, whatever I'm mentioning, checks, captures, threats. So what are the first checks? What we have in this situation? Knight h5. Okay, interesting. Knight f5 also is quite a good looking option as well. Queen g4. Not really. So let's investigate through these variations. Queen g4 for the sake of check, yes, we have it, but that's it. Not recommended
This
by
would be
any means.
shocking to take queen g4, yeah?
Queen g4, like, it will remind me of the recent tournament, which I just mentioned 3 days ago. I started watching. So basically, I'm talking about 23, 2400 rated players there. Anyhow, so here, what if we go knight h5? Interesting approach. And always look for the capture immediately if it exists, because black can actually go for it. But now if we go for something like queen g4 check, there comes queen g5. And we get nothing. We tried really hard, but we get nothing at all at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
So, yes, and we can just... I would recommend in this position just to play queen d1, just to set up the position for the next game. It will be faster, so you don't have to waste time later. And the other move candidate, what we have got now is knight f5. What about knight f5? This is not just a royal fork. This knight is the most beautiful piece probably on this earth at this point. And unlike my friend telling me in the past that he forked everything and the knight at the end, which was really, really bad news because his knight just got captured back. Unlike in the previous situation, now black is forced to capture the knight. There is no other good way. And when that happens, we can take the queen on e7 and simply win the game on spot. There is no way black is going to save this position.
Exactly.
So knight f5, beautiful motive, pawn is pinned to the queen, we're gonna take it, and that's it.
Quite nice, quite nice. Okay, Georgi, so let's go to number 18, and I think let's do 3 more, and maybe that's it for today. So we're gonna stream most probably tomorrow, but 3 more, and that's it. White to play. As well here we have a typical motive. Not so easy, but yes, maybe someone of you can find the solution. We have this huge pressure on the H file. We can give a check. It's like Georgi is always saying, let's check. Let's check the checks. Queen H7. King F8. Does it help us to win the game? I think not really, because the king can always escape here to E7, so it's not going to be a mate. Later on, these rooks are quite dangerous, so as well, the white king might get under heavy stress. So, Queen H7, maybe not the best. Can we check on H8? So we sacrifice a queen, take, because there is nothing else. Now we take back, King G7, only move, because there is nothing else. And Rook 1H7 with a checkmate. So quite a beautiful checkmate. This motive of sacrificing a queen is working pretty well, but for that, of course, we must be very, very strong on the H file. It's quite a rare situation that we have all the pieces on the H file. And usually it is not the queen that is coming first. So usually we would have some rook, let's say, standing somewhere here. And it would be rook first and then the queen. But here we have the queen first. More rare, but idea remains the same. So we give this check. And here comes the checkmate. Double rook. Very beautiful. Okay, let's go with the next one. Georgi.
People in chat are trying to keep up the streak. I like it.
Yep.
That's good. So, let's fire up. What can we do right now? Well, this motive is quite famous, and I've used it in my games with a smile on the face, obviously. So, we are trying to, first of all, the smile is very important. It's the key moment.
If you're losing like that, do you smile as well or not that much?
Depends how I lost. If I lost with some if I lost like Aronian did, probably I would still smile, actually.
Okay.
In that game. Because I know I will end up on YouTube, but regardless, I mean, it's a good one. So I like to be part of the history in general. So if we try to go for a queen h7 right away, not the best direction because the knight is grabbing it. Captures, we have got some captures, but it's not really working. When you see your pieces are kind of lasering down the board and especially going after the h7, what should we do in these occasions? The knight is the key defender. Therefore, look for the ways to get rid of it. Probably one of the logical approach would be to play knight e4. We want to get rid of this guy and then go for h7 as well. But it's not possible to make it work. That's why white has got a really nice looking option. Knight d5, check. So, not check, sorry, my bad. Attacking the queen. And the knight at the same time. What is black going to do? If the knight takes, there comes queen h7. Otherwise, if the queen moves away, there is not much happening because we are ready to grab this the main defender on f6, plus making a checkmate on the board. So let's say black decides to go for the move like knight d5, we said queen h7, and if black tries to sidestep with the queen, we can grab it, queen takes back, and queen h7 with a beautiful mate on the board.
Yes, very nice idea. Knight to d5, very, very useful. This really happens in a lot of games. This kind of, we're luring the black knight away, and then we have this queen takes h7 with a mate. Very nice idea, nice motive. And yeah, it happens just so often. Okay, let's go to our last puzzle of today, and here we go. So, this puzzle, not that simple, but as well here we have quite a typical execution of this pressure on the G file. White has to do something fast. Trouble with the king on B1, so very soon we're gonna get mated if we do nothing. So, can we give a check? It would be only rook takes G7. Do we have something like a slow play eventually? Hard to say because black queen is gonna take the pawn, and this feels really bad because king on b1, not very safe. So let's try first the forced continuation. We're gonna take king takes. All right, now we have couple of choices. The most natural is, in case we want to have a strong attack, we need more pieces in the attack. So rook on d1 is doing nothing. The first intention is let's bring an extra piece in the attack just by intuition. This is usually the best choice that you can do. Maybe there is an option of giving, for example, a check like with a pawn or maybe with a queen, but these are not your first intentions, or by just trusting your intuition. In case you want to give a checkmate, bring all the pieces in the attack in case you can. And here definitely you can. So rook to g1. We bring the rook into the attack. This is a check against the king on g7. The king has two options, so there is nothing to put in front of the king. So king has to be moved, and it is the option of king h8 or the option of king h6. There is just nothing else. Just two options. So let's check. King h8. Can we deliver a checkmate? Yes, we can, by playing queen f6. So queen gets to f6. It's a checkmate. No moves to go. What happens after king to h6? Here we do more or less the same. So still we have this check. King has to take the pawn because again there's nothing else. And we deliver the checkmate that we already know so well, the frontal checkmate to the black king. As we can see, black is just not in time to play queen takes a2 and maybe to win the game, because as well the king of white is feeling not very safe. Yeah, so white is just in time with this sacrifice, but this sacrifice is very, very typical. So we break the pawn structure, and then we bring the other piece into the game, and then we mate the black king. So this is one of the ideas that probably most of the players, even at the level of a club player level, a lot of games are ending like that. Georgi, how many games do you think you have finished with a move like rook g7 with a idea like rook
Many,
takes g7?
many, really too many actually. And every time pretty much I have opposite side castles on the board. This is so high probability that it will end up like that. Hopefully I'm not the one which receives it, but I've been there as well. But yeah, many times. It's very common idea, no doubt.
Yeah, yes, it is. Okay, Georgi, I think that's it for today, no? We will be
Yes,
back
indeed.
tomorrow. In It is already quite late, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the ideas. I hope it will be as well practical for your own play. And yes, please subscribe, give us a like, and yeah, maybe see you next time. See you tomorrow. Georgi, your last words for today?
All set. It was pleasant, enjoyable positions. Thank you everyone in chat for joining and tuning in and make our stream more entertaining. Appreciate it. And well, I'll see you next time. Take care, guys.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.